Now, the big news and the scandal of the century, if not of the history of this nation, is how the Obama administration sought to undermine President Trump's victory in 2016. Intelligence that had been interpreted one way before the election was interpreted a different way after the election. I'll tell you why. The Obama administration, indeed much of the country, including the New York Times, for example, that on election night had Hillary winning by an 85-90% probability. They had no blooming idea this man could win. They thought he was stupid. They thought he was vulgar. They thought he was crude. They thought he was inept. They thought he was unqualified. They thought he was a buffoon, a character who was created in his own mind, a braggart, and they thought there was no blooming way America would elect this man. Remember Obama made that joke? Well, he may have said this about me, but at least I was a president. Ha 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 ha. And remember the exchanges between Strzok and Page? The man should lose 100 million votes to 0. Ha 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 ha. And then after he got elected, they said, how could this possibly have happened? And I will give them some credit. They hated him so much. They felt it was so unlikely that he could possibly win. I think many of them sincerely believe the Russians must have done this because the American people are way too smart, way too wise, way too perceptive to have elected this buffoon. I remember when George W. Bush defeated John Kerry. There was an article in one of the news weeklies, either Time or Newsweek. A reporter was there on election night when the returns came in. And John Kerry says, I cannot believe this moron is beating me. Well, take how they felt about George W. Bush and put it on steroids. Increase it exponentially. That's how they felt about and still feel about Donald Trump. So the Russians had to do that. Let's take another look at the intel, because we initially dismissed it because we thought the Russians didn't have the ability or the power or even the desire necessarily to put him in office. Now they must have, because there's no way this man could have been elected. He's fat. He's orange. Look at his hair.